Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day of the week it is. I have no idea what this release schedule is going to be like. We are here for the Legacy 1K that was hosted by Chimera Gaming. This is the quarterfinals match, the first round of the top 8. And we have seen one of these players earlier in their tournament before. Unfortunately, he suffered a loss, but he has returned and he is in the top 8 bracket. Michael Hennick on Grixis Delver on player 1 side. Player 2 side, we have someone we've actually hosted or featured before, but not in this event, and it is Jacob Murray. So we're going to see these two face off in the first quarterfinals match. Jacob, the last time we saw him, he was playing Boros Initiative. So we're going to see what he's piloting today and if he's having success with Initiative. But we will see what happens. I'm not sure, again, who is in the higher seed here. So that is how we are going to be determining player 1. Or not player 1. We are determining who will be taking the first turn. I see a Mishra's Bauble, so Jacob definitely not on Initiative. He is going to mulligan. All right, Michael looks like Michael is happy with his 7, so it looks like he's going to keep. That's an Emery Lurker of the Lock, so that means Jacob is going to be playing 8 cast or Patchwork Stompy. Probably going to be Patchwork Stompy. Like, since the printing of Orcish Bowmaster, 8 cast has suffered so much, and you know, although Patchwork Automaton is still a strong card, the majority of the creatures that are put out from 8 cast can be killed really easily from Orcish Bowmaster. So looks like Jacob is in the higher seed. He's going to start off with Ancient Tomb into Patchwork Automaton into Lotus Petal. That Patchwork is going to be a 2/2 with Ward 2. So if you don't know what Patchwork Automaton is, I'm going to throw it up on the screen, but it is a 2-mana 1/1 with Ward 2, and whenever you cast a artifact spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Michael's going to start his turn with Wasteland, going to take away Michael's Ancient Tomb, just pass the turn back to Jacob. Jacob is going to retaliate with a Urza Saga. Going to crack the Lotus Petal, play another Patchwork Automaton. That's going to trigger the first Automaton, making it a 3/3, going to swing at Michael for 3. Brings him down to 17. Wasteland going to take another Urza Saga away from Jacob. Jacob finds another Urza Saga off the top, swings in for 4 with his 2 Patchwork Automatons, brings Michael down to 13. There's a Volcanic Island into Delver past the turn. If it wasn't 2 automatons, this would be a pretty good position for Michael. Jacob is going to cast a Mox Opal, going to trigger both of the automatons. So one of them is going to be a 4/4, the other one is going to be a 2/2. So swinging at Michael for 6, bringing him down to 7. All right, Michael going to untap. Does he have any tricks to flip this Delver over? All right, trigger on the stack. Michael going to Brainstorm. So this can guarantee Delver flipping. However, if Michael doesn't have a fetch land, he is going to be Brainstorm locked. Flips a Ponder over. So now Michael has an Insectile Aberration and plays Volcanic Island into another Delver of Secrets. Gonna pass the turn. Jacob going to draw. Didn't quite get a glimpse of it. This Urza Saga is going to tick up. Go to float 1 mana because he can't really do much else. Finds a Shadow Spear. So Shadow Spear does really nicely. Jacob doesn't really care about his life total at the moment. The key thing here is that it does give trample. So even if Michael tries to chump block the 4/4 automaton, 5/5 automaton, it's going to be a 5/5 with trample. 5/5 automaton, 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 5/5 Down comes an island. He still has one floating mana. Does he have another artifact? He does not. So he's just going to attach the Stratosphere and swing with one of the automatons. It is a 5/5 with lifelink trample. Michael is just going to take it, go down to 2. And Jacob going to go up to 23. Michael going to take his turn. He finds a polluted delta off the top, going to cast the Ponder that we saw from the Delver last time. And is it good enough to keep? Can he find a way to survive? It's a difficult position here because all of the removal in the Grixis Delver list, they're all targeted removal. So it's really hard to deal with these automatons until the post board where Michael can find some meltdowns or like Brotherhood's Ends or something. But Michael going to crack the polluted delta, bring himself down to 1. 1's not too much different from 2. But looks like he's just trying to get some blockers. Surveil is going to trigger. He dumps a Tropical Island into the graveyard. Looks at the top 3. Not good enough. Going to shuffle. So does he have Delirium? He has land, instant, sorcery. So this Dragon's Reach Chandler is only a 1/1. Delver didn't flip this turn because it was the polluted delta. Looks like Michael's just going to pass. This is a pretty bad position. Yeah, Jacob just immediately going to swing. Michael is only at 1, so... Wow, there... I went pirate mode for a second there. There's only 3 lands in Michael's hand, so Jacob will be taking game number 1 over Michael with Patchwork Stompy, making quick work and actually showing that this is a Stompy deck. Those creatures do get big and they are very hard to deal with. Players have finished sideboarding. They are ready to start game number 2. Michael is going to be on the play here because he did lose game number 1, unfortunately. Jacob looking at a Chalice of the Void. Looks like they're ready to start. Down comes Delver on turn number 1 for Michael from going Volcanic Island into Delver. Jacob is going to start off with a Seat of the Synod. There's a Mishra's Bauble. There's an Urza's Bauble. Down comes Emery, Lurker of the Lock. So this does have affinity for artifacts, even though it doesn't say affinity for artifacts. But there is a Daze from Michael. Michael going to successfully counter Emery. Jacob going to pass the turn. Michael going to go to upkeep, trigger the Delver. Blind flips Lightning Bolt off of the top, going to flip into Insectile Aberration. Michael going to replay that Volcanic Island that he picked up off of the Daze for the alternative casting costs. Jacob going to draw a Lotus Petal for his turn, drops down in Urza Saga, plays the Lotus Petal. Down comes Chalice of the Void on 1. Michael going to respond with a Brainstorm, maybe try to get another Daze. Actually, Daze wouldn't do it because there's a Lotus Petal now, but maybe he can find a Force of Negation or a Force of Will. Maybe he can find a Meltdown that can kind of cleanly answer all of the things on Jacob's board. But Michael going to let it resolve, puts 2 cards back on the top. He is Brainstorm locked now unless he has a fetch land. I think we just saw a Flooded Strand there. Did he draw for his turn? He did not draw for his turn. There we go. All right, Michael going to swing in for 3 with the Delver. Brings Jacob down to 17. Okay, so Michael now in the tank, what to do? Gonna crack the Flooded Strand, brings himself down to 19. Gets himself out of that Brainstorm lock. But he did end up having to draw one of the cards, so not bad if it wasn't one of the cards he doesn't want to get rid of. But Michael does have virtually 3 or 4 cards in hand because of these 2 baubles, but there is going to be a Kappa Cannoneer in this list, so kind of want to manage how many artifacts you have on the board out at one time. And also, it contributes to having very large constructs from this Urza Saga. There's a Thought Monitor. So he draws 2 cards. Oh, I was Incorrect. Michael playing Temur Delver. So Daze is now in Michael's hand. Jacob knows about it because of the Mishra's Bauble. Michael going to crack the Scalding Tarn that he plays as a land for turn. Going to find a Volcanic Island. Alright, so Michael going to cast a Brainstorm, gets countered by Chalice of the Void. The Heritage Druid does get a counter, but Michael trying to cast the Murktide Regent, so he does do that successfully, even though this Brainstorm got countered. Maybe I should talk to Dave about this autofocus. It must be turned off and we use manual focus. But Delver is going to swing. Looks like Jacob going to trade his Thought Monitor into the Delver. Jacob going to draw for his turn, going to make another construct before the Urza Saga goes away. We're going to resolve the third chapter ability. So now Jacob gets to find an artifact that costs exactly 0 or exactly 1 mana. Finds an Aether Spellbomb. So this will very nicely deal with the Murktide Regent. It does come straight into play, so Michael cannot counter it. And he does have the mana to bounce the Murktide because he does have the Mox Opal. But might want to attack before doing it. Wait, how big are they? They're 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He probably should have attacked first before bouncing the Murktide to see what would happen, but I don't think Michael would have blocked anyway. So 6 points of damage. Michael down to 12. Now he needs to reestablish and get back into this game here. There is a Dragon's Reach Chandler from Michael that's going to trigger the Heritage Druid. Gonna daze his own Dragon's Reach Chandler to grow the Heritage Druid, bounce the Volcanic Island to his hand. So the spell that he, or the land that he bounced, the Volcanic Island, he taps for 1 mana to pay for the daze itself. So that's why the Dragon's Rage Chandler still stays on the board. So he does pay for the daze. So down comes the Volcanic Island that he just bounced. And looks like he's just going to pass back to Jacob. Jacob going to draw for his turn. There's an Ancient Tomb. Wait, does the Dragon's Chandler get countered by the Chalice? Brazen Borer bounces. So Jacob missed the counter. How big is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, these guys are moving quite fast. So the Heritage Druid gets bounced by the Petty Theft. Michael sends it on an adventure, finds 2 Dragon's Reach Channelers exiled. Here is another Heritage Druid. I think he's just digging for something like a Meltdown. Finds 2 lands, does not do it. Michael is dead on board. Is Jacob just going to be taking this with 2 Construct tokens? Yeah, he only has 2 Murktide Regents, and that is going to be the game. So Jacob will be taking it over Michael in 2 games. So, Patchwork Stompy making quick work of Temur Delver. I did make a mistake. It wasn't Grixis. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys for the semifinals for the Legacy 1K hosted by Chimera Gaming. See you guys next time, and take it easy.